Hi everyone, welcome to another video from our wooden shelves series. We are on to our second row, so I am going to come in closer so we can see this pot. I shall move it more towards the centre of the picture as well in a moment. There we go. I think these leaves are really pretty on this one. I think I will start with the leaves actually. Let's have a look at the colours we've used at the top. You can't see, but I'm going to use something that's a little bit different to what we've used just above. I'm going to start with this one. It is the Chrome Oxide Green. We're still working with our Polychromos. You can use any brand of pencils. This is just a darkish green to sort of get us started really, and I want to pop some of that at the bottom of each of the leaves. I'm going to be doing the same thing, so just trying to fade it up the leaf a little bit, put a little bit more of a saturated layer of colour at the bottom and then less towards the top. Now I sometimes find that when I've got a background like we have with this shelf, once I colour in the detail in front, it sometimes shows up that I haven't quite coloured the background all the way to the edge of the item. I can see under here and around here. I probably need to do a little bit more on that. It is tricky though to know whether to do the background first or last. I mean, obviously this isn't really a background, but a lot of people do ask, you know, do you do it first or last? Now, I tend to do it last most of the time, particularly if it's pastel, because otherwise you might smudge it. And also if it's Posca pen, because again, you want to leave it to dry. And also if you go out of the lines on a Posca, you can write on top of it. So if I go out of the lines, which I do a lot, it would show up. So I'd rather do the Posca last. And if you go over this line on top of the foreground, it doesn't look as bad. I don't think, anyway. But what I do, even if I'm going to do the background last, is I always make sure I plan it first. So I have a think, because I don't want to use the colours in the foreground that I'm going to use in the background. So for example, if I'm going to put a black background behind here, let's say I'm not, but let's just pretend I am, I won't necessarily want to use lots of really dark colours because they get lost into the black. Unless I want to go really dark and black, and that's my thing, I will want to use some vibrant colours which will show up from the black. So, you know, another thing is if I say use lots of blues like I have in this page, and then I decide, oh, I like a sky, you know, I can't do a blue sky because those blue items in front of the blue sky will just get lost. So it's just a matter of planning a little bit before you start, and it doesn't always work out like that though. Sometimes I think I'm not going to do a background, or I'm going to see what it looks like before I do one, and that sort of thing. But generally it's worth having a plan, and your plan may change. Be open-minded, be open to change, because it might just you might just decide something's going to look better. Now, together with that dark colour, I'm going to go a bit lighter. I decided to go for this earth green yellowish. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to quite work. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to go right over the top of the darker colour and then take this to the tip. My idea is to try to... sorry, just moving the paper that's underneath. I don't know if you find that if you put a piece of paper underneath, sometimes it moves and you get a little ridge under where you're colouring. You don't want that. So we're just trying to go over the top so you can still see a bit of the darker area. I'm just sharpening. So we can still see a bit of the darker area that we intended, but also with a lighter tip. And I do love this yellowy green colour. I call it sort of olive green, but I don't know if that's the proper term. I mean, olives come in so many different colours. I mean, the fruit, olive, the fruit, you know, comes in red and black. So I'm not really sure if it's the right word, but anyway. Anyway, I hope everyone's well this afternoon. It's actually morning here as I'm recording. I've just had a walk actually. I went for quite a short walk actually with a friend. We tend to usually walk a bit longer, but she had an appointment so had to dash off. but we went along the canal, which was nice. We saw a pair of swans. One of them was on the nest. I don't know if only the female sits on the nest or if they take it in turns. I don't know how it happens with swans. But one of them was awake beside the nest. The other one was on the nest asleep. So we weren't sure if there were any cygnets underneath or eggs or anything. So my friend did ask me if they still had the cygnets, but I haven't seen them because I haven't walked along that way recently, so I didn't know. But anyway, that was interesting. We had a bit of a political whinge, and but we also talked about our children because and their school and things like that. You know, that's what we have in common really. Her son was at school with my boys for a while, so that was that. So and talk about our husbands and how they're getting on. I think her husband's trying to find a new job, and he's finding it tricky. He wants one where he gets on very well with the people, which is completely understandable. But he doesn't always find that he can get that sort of work. To be honest, I don't know what line of work he's in. I asked her, you know, what the job was that he was looking for, and she said, oh, just like his old one. I didn't really know what his older one was, so I've got no clue. But never mind. But she was chattering, so I didn't interrupt and ask any more questions. So there's our greenery. It's quite simple. I really like it, just simple like that. I'm happy. And now our pot. Now what I'm thinking with this is I'd quite like these longer pieces that look like they're stuck on the pot. But I still want them blue. So what I'm going to do is this background part I'm going to do in a light blue, and then these pieces I'm going to do in a much darker blue, and I hope that it sort of will come together and work. So I'm just looking for the correct light blue that I want, which also isn't one that we've used just above in the pot above this one up there, which you can't see. So I'm going to go for the light phthalo blue. It's a light sort of powdery blue, and just start by putting a layer down on the pot. Now I don't want to really go over the lines here. I will, because I always do. I'm going to try to avoid them, so I should try and go slowly and make sure that I am a little bit careful. It's because I want these to be dark. If I go over them with the lighter pencil, it will lighten them a little bit, and that's not what I want to do. So we'll just carry it on lightly. But I didn't really see much other wildlife. The thing is, when I walk with my friend, she has her dog, and it means that the birds get scared, so we don't see a lot. Also, we're busy nattering, so I'm not so observant when I'm with someone rather than when I'm on my own. But I saw quite a few other people walking dogs at this time of the morning. I guess it was because we left at about 8:10. So people were sort of doing a pre-work walk, I think. Actually, I got home around 9. My husband hadn't even left for work. He has quite a commute, but he tends to leave a bit later and try and get in for 10, because then he misses the rush hour traffic, which he hates. And he can't do early. He can if he absolutely has to, but he likes a good few hours in the morning at home getting ready. So he likes to be chilled and not rush off. So anyway, I'm just going to tidy it up a little bit. Some areas are a bit lighter. I'm just trying to see where those are. As I say, tidy it up a bit. Yeah, so he leaves late and he gets home later, but he prefers that, and he gets to see us all in the morning. Well, he gets to see the boys, they leave at 8, so he sees them for a little bit of time. But they'll have to leave even earlier, I think, once they start university, if they do go to a local one. I'm just picking my next colour. What's that one? think I'm going to use this one. Oops. The Prussian blue. I'm trying to decide what to do with that. I don't think I'm going to do it this colour. But I shall show you what my plan is for these. So I'm going to make them, that one's just too small. So I want to make them a bit darker at the top and fade them quite significantly so the centre can look a bit shiny. I want them to look like they're sort of shiny things. I don't know how well it will, it's trickier with a small space, but I'm going to try. I wanted it to look like there are little shiny glass bits sort of stuck on the pot. It might look like that, might not. But yeah, when my boys start university, they're going to have to get 2 buses. It's going to take them an hour and a half to get there, which is quite a long trek. But they can stay at home though, which is a lot cheaper. So, and if they're not in every day, which my niece is at that university, she's only in 3 days a week, so it might mean that it'll be okay. We'll just have to see. They might change their mind by then. So it's a tough decision to make, I really think, at their age, specialising early. I mean, they could delay, get a job and then think about university later, but they're not really ready for work. They're enjoying learning. They want to learn more first, so we'll see. I was talking to a different friend about it. Her daughter's in their year, and her daughter is too shy to start work as well, sort of introverted. But she said she could easily find her a job. She's knows everybody in the town. She talks to lots of people. It's well known because she's worked in various shops and things like that. So she could easily find her a shop job, but she just doesn't feel. And her daughter is lovely, polite, and things like that. But she just doesn't feel like talking to people all day long is going to be any good for her. So she's gonna. I'm trying to leave a white dot in the middle. She's gonna spend an extra year studying at the college she's at now, because she needs a little bit of extra time. She's had a few things going on, so it means she needs a bit of extra help, which is fair enough. What I'm going to do is I've decided to do that top bit in this light colour that we were using before, so the light phthalo blue, and do a layer, and then I'm going to use a slightly darker shade, and you'll see what my plan is. I don't think my slightly darker shade is necessarily going to be dark enough, but this is the phthalo blue. So it's actually 2 steps up because there's a middle one, a light one. This is so this is the darkest one. And I want to try and add a little bit of shape to the pot at this point, like we have done on the others. So by adding some colour at each end, and under this rim, it's going to be quite dark. And there'll be a shadow, hopefully. I don't know, we might need to do that in a different colour. And I'm going to put a bit of this on each side to try and give it a bit more shape. Again, trying to avoid going over the top of our little bits of glass as I have tried to colour them. You could use a white pen to make the white, but I haven't used white pen anywhere, so I just decided to keep it with paper showing through. So that's a decision that you can take. You could use white pen everywhere if you want. Not everywhere, that'd be a bit much. But you know, on different bits, elements. What I want to do is to put some shadow in, and those aren't dark enough. I think I might grab the indigo. We've been using the dark, what's it called? Dark indigo for shadows on some of the pots, and I think it's going to work. I'll just show you dark indigo. And I'm going to go back under here, put in a much more defined line, particularly at the edges. And I'm actually going to put a bit on here as well, just lightly. Don't want it to look too dark, but now my aim is try and add some shadows under here at the bottom and to the side. So basically just going over the black lines that were already there really, but emphasising them a bit, extending them a little bit. I'm just trying to do it just underneath. Hopefully it will just help them to look like they're stuck on the pot rather than sort of a printed pattern. We can do the same at the bottom. Outside circle's quite difficult. I can never quite get it looking quite right. Hopefully it will look all right. Let's have a look. I think maybe that needs to be emphasised a bit more. I'm going to go back over. The joy with Johanna's paper is, you know, you can layer and layer. I have heard of people layering so many times if they've torn the paper. You do have to be careful, but it can take a lot of layers. So as long as you don't press too hard. I think I've had that happen once where I layered too many times, but just once. And if it's just a tiny bit, you have to just hope that nobody notices. Okay, I think I need to emphasise this shape as well on this side. I'm just going to add a little bit. And pressing really lightly. I'd rather just layer up bit by bit and go slowly than accidentally whack down too much colour and it not look good. I think I can hear the dustman, the recycling people actually today. I had to move all the bins when I got back from my walk, so my husband could get the car out. I'm just stopped to have a little look. I'll put a little bit more here. I'm nearly done. I think I'm going to leave it there. I hope that's okay. I just realised that top of the leaf is out of shot. There we go. So that's our sort of, it's a little bit different to the others. So I hope that's fun for you. And tomorrow we've got this one which trails down, so I shall have a think about what to do for that one. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like if you've enjoyed the video, if you can. It does make a difference, it makes me happy. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I know most of you have already and I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and happy colouring.